and local, and September. Oh my yes, what a beautiful month. We're into it, and just have a look at the weather outside, staying like that right across the weekend. At the moment, we're talking about Bay FM Health with Madonna and a lovely visitor that Madonna brought in, Linda. Now, we've got a bit more to this story, haven't we?
We do. So Linda was chatting during the break about finding a good functional medicine practitioner because it's really easy to get misdiagnosed when you've got chronic fatigue. So can you tell us a little about your story there?
This is a very important part of the whole process when you have the chronic fatigue, because many of the health professionals can suggest that it is your imagination, or you've got anxiety or depression. Especially
once the blood tests come back clear, I would imagine, yeah.
And so that can be quite confronting, because I had previously had grief and loss when I had many family members and friends die in a short period of time. So that grief and loss can present as anxiety and depression, but it's not clinical anxiety or depression. So that had previously occurred to the chronic fatigue.
So do you think that might have been one of the triggers to exhaust your adrenals so that you were more susceptible for chronic fatigue, perhaps?
Part of the issue was the fact that I'd previously had glandular fever and cytomegalovirus.
Right, yeah.
And that can actually impact on your system, that you are more susceptible. And I'm sure that all the trauma and the grief and loss contributed to that as well.
Yeah.
However, finding a doctor that would actually look at the physical symptoms, because the blood tests were generally everything was coming back great, and I looked so good, but I was really struggling to the point that prior to changing my diet and not having gluten or dairy,
yes,
I had bronchitis, mild asthma, flus repetitively. And I had a few, each year I kept getting like a verging on bronchial pneumonia every year.
Yeah.
But once I changed my diet, I'm now 3.5 years on, and there's been no cold, no asthma, no flu, no bronchitis, no pneumonia, nothing. And that to me is a testament to a good, healthy diet.
Absolutely. And you mentioned earlier on, and I know we sort of covered this briefly before, but you love getting your green juices and that sort of thing in. Greens are so important for building up the mucous membrane in the gut, which is the home of the good bacteria, which of course is where 80% of your immune system lives. So if you don't get your fibre and your greens in, then people can't have a healthy immune system, and people often forget their greens.
Yeah, it's very important, and also because I'm going through menopause, so that's been very important for that and helping with that. But what happened was I ended up seeing a doctor up at Cooperoo, and he in last year in April, and I was very grateful for this gentleman, because he was a more alternative doctor, functional medicine doctor, and he actually looked at, he recognised that I'd had heat stroke through several bouts of heat stroke in 2012 through being outside gardening, and that had damaged all my mitochondria.
So mitochondria are an energy, that they create energy in your cells. So every cell in the body contains mitochondria, some more than others, like the heart has heaps, muscles have heaps. Yep, so they damage your mitochondria.
So he put me on a product called D-ribose. D-R-I-B-O-S-E. It's really important, I'm telling you this, because it's changed my life. I started taking it every day. I take it every 4 to 5 hours. So I took that. By the day 11, I woke up in the morning and I no longer had the severe chronic fatigue.
Wow.
So I could cry just thinking about it, because my whole life changed. And I remember going up, I went out and I saw someone I knew, and I said, I feel amazing. I think she thought I was on drugs or something. I don't take anything. But I was like, so it was getting oxygen into all the muscles in my body and into the heart muscle. And so that's been a pivotal change in my life. I'm getting better every day. I take that regularly. I eat well.
Now, if you don't eat well, how quickly do things revert for you?
Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you simply have some foods that your body cannot tolerate and create inflammation very, very quickly. Okay.
And the same with toxins. Don't be around chemicals. I've gone and changed all of my products to be things that are not harmful in the home.
Yeah.
Right, brands that I can use.
Yeah.
So,
is there anything else that you would really like to put forward to people, that if they're thinking they've got chronic fatigue, they're wondering how to talk to their doctors or their naturopath about it, what would you have them say?
Be honest and say exactly what you're going through and act exactly what you're feeling. And if it's not like an emotional stuff and you know it's physical, really emphasise that. Do your research. Look up Dr. Sarah Myhill on D.
Oh, she's fabulous. She's from the UK. She's got a whole online, well, you can get on her mailing lists. She's been doing this stuff for 20 years or more.
She's the one that promotes the D-ribose, and she has a great book on sustainable medicine.
Yeah.
And I'm also seeing another functional medicine doctor now at Woodridge who's amazing, and I'm just so grateful to them and Madonna. And the good thing about it is that they my doctor at Cooperoo respected the work I was doing with Madonna, so it just worked in unison. Wonderful.
Yeah. He worked in Wynnum 22 years ago. We've got a bit of a history.
Oh, really? I'm very grateful to these doctors and to Madonna. Thank you.
No, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for telling us your story. And I look forward to hearing how your business takes off in 2018. It's going to be your year.
Yeah, and I'm very happy. Life is great.
Yeah.
But it was physical. It wasn't just,
you
know, it was more physical than anything. And
Beautiful.
I think that's the important thing doctors need to realise.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in today. And, hopefully we'll have you on again one day. Excellent. Thanks, Linda. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Linda. Yes, that was a great story you were telling there. Absolutely fantastic for a lot of people who may